This is likely to be the scenario of the girls, the 8 girls that have been arrested, and they are likely to be brought to court. The state might not prove the offense of murder, but definitely 16 children have died. The offense of manslaughter is likely to be committed. What other lesson do we learn from this? Parents who have taken their kids to boarding schools and private schools in lower primary, be very careful when you take them to public schools. The living conditions of kids in a public school is different from the living conditions of private schools. Welcome to Court Helicopter Explainer. For the families of Utumishi School, the 16 children who passed on, we pass our condolences from Court Helicopter News. We did an explainer and indicated that there was negligence, there was carelessness. The school management did not secure the lives of those students. Out of it, the Minister for Education, the Cabinet Secretary for Education, has disbanded and nullified, dissolved the Board of Management. 2, the Minister has recommended drastic disciplinary measures to be taken by the Teachers Service Commission. Definitely, the teachers involved will be interdicted and they'll follow disciplinary processes. 3rd, the DCI has done his preliminary investigations and 8 students have been arrested. The most likely offenses these children are going to face, they might be charged for arson. Arson is when you burn a building, a dwelling house. They can also be charged with theft if they stole anything. They can also be charged with malicious damage to property if they damaged that property, the dormitory. They can also be charged with murder. Most likely, they'll face the charges of murder or manslaughter. Has this thing ever happened? We gave a chronology that over 174 students have died from 1991 to date in dormitories. The majority are girls. I don't know the reason as to why girls' schools are the ones that are banned by other girls. It is a time we need to study and a research to be conducted. Why this disparity? We got in our archives, Bramwell went the whole of yesterday and today and has found the case law. This is a similar fact in the High Court of Kenya at Nairobi, criminal case number 42 of 2017, Republic versus TWG, a subject. Under the law, children below 18 years, their cases cannot be mentioned, their names. Their names are prohibited because they are minors. What are the facts? And this is similar to what happened at Utumishi. A school in Nairobi is an all-girls boarding school situated in the estate in Nairobi. It is located near Kibra Locals. It's a big school occupying big land. In 2017, the school had a population of thousands of students. What does it say? The story of MG Nairobi was to change barely. It says, after the fire was burned, this child was charged of 10 counts of murder. All these counts of murder. What was the prosecution's case? It is the case that a student at that school in Form 1, she was in Form 1 in 2017, and accommodated at KD dormitory, sent a WhatsApp text message on 27th August 2017 to KJM, that is PW13, that she would ban the school. This was one day before the school opened on 28th August 2017 for the third term. It is the prosecution case that she hated the school and wanted to get out of that school by whatever means, be it running away from school, being assisted by her friends to suffocate herself, drinking hand sanitizer, or getting the school on fire. The evidence in respect of these events was tendered in court. When the school opened on 28th August 2017 and the days following that date, she was seen by her classmates and friends with a matchbox. There is evidence that she had a matchbox in the dormitory. So this kid there is evidence from the mother, who is the mother, relating that her late daughter had narrated to her that he had a matchbox. So she had a matchbox in the dorm. It was intended to burn the dorm on 31st August 2017, but did not do so because, according to L, there were too many people around. L testified that he has shown her a hand sanitizer on which she had circled the word highly inflammable and told L that she would burn the school. She testified that T showed her a Dettol sanitizer on which T had circled the word highly inflammable. So the question that was put before the judge is dealing with this child who was in Form 1 and was alleged to have burned the school. The judge, in her analysis, says, however, there is evidence from several witnesses that the subject had a matchbox and even demonstrated how to light fire during prep time. There is evidence. The court cannot ignore evidence of this witness, who have been vigorously examined and cross-examined without changing the evidence. There is evidence of a sticky note, including X1, that show the frustrations and anger expressed by the subject toward her parents and the school generally. She admitted there has been proof that there was no proof that she practices demonic worship, nor that she had joined Illuminati. I've considered this evidence. I have no doubt in my mind that the fire started on the subject's bed and spread to the rest of the sections of the ground floor. It was fueled by strong winds to spread to the first floor, trapping the girls on that floor and leading to the deaths of some of the girls on that night. So the judge has confirmed that the fire was lit by this small girl. It is my considered view, having taken into account all the evidence tendered in this case, including that of the defense, that the subject made good her word to burn the school or dormitory. She may have been joking with her friends and classmates at the beginning before opening the school, but this turned into a reality when circumstances of life are shown by her frustrations as expressed by her friends, and her conduct became overwhelming to her. She could not handle what was happening in her life, and she got her outlet by setting her bed on fire. I'm alive to the evidence that no one saw that person who set the dormitory on fire, but there is uncontroverted evidence that fire started on the subject's bed. The subject did not like the school. her parents seemed unconcerned about her circumstances. She had made an attempt to remain in class one evening with the aim of escaping from the school, leading to counseling. She wanted a transfer from the school, something that her parents did not seem to give a listening ear. She also seemed to be crying for attention. I'm not a psychologist, this is the judge saying, but her behavior of the subject portrays a child crying for attention. She seemed unprepared for a public school like the one she landed in. She expressed her frustrations to her parents and classmates and showed some unconventional tendencies as testified by some of the witnesses. She was seen with a matchbox and demonstrated how to light it. She used WhatsApp chats and sticky notes to express her feelings and frustrations to her friends and classmates, and even threatened to burn the school. Whether she meant it at that time of making those expressions seems to have turned into a serious threat which she carried out. What is the judge saying? This is a girl who wanted removed from that school. The parents refused. What did the judge finally do? In the judgment, she says, it is my considered view that the prosecution has not provided malice, has not proved malice, whether express malice, implied malice, or constructive malice, as defined in Isaac Kimathi, Kanugochob versus the Republic, where malice aforethought is not proved, but there is proof that the person under trial is the one who killed the victim, then the offense committed is not murder, but manslaughter. It is therefore the finding of this court that the prosecution, having failed to prove the elements of malice aforethought in respect of this case, this court is not able to find the subject guilty of the offense of murder. Consequently, I find that the subject TWG not guilty of the offense of murder in all the 10 counts she is facing. She is hereby acquitted of the 10 counts of murder she is facing. Instead, I find the offense proved beyond reasonable doubt to be manslaughter in all the 10 counts. Consequently, I find the subject TWG guilty of an unlawful act of omission of causing the deaths of the 10 victims enumerated in count 1 to 10, all inclusive, contrary to section 202(1), as read with section 205 of the Penal Code. I enter conviction against her for each of the 10 counts of manslaughter accordingly. It is hereby ordered. This is likely to be the scenario of the girls, the 8 girls that have been arrested, and they are likely to be brought to court. The state might not prove the offense of murder, but definitely 16 children have died. The offense of manslaughter is likely to be committed. What other lesson do we learn from this? Parents who have taken their kids to boarding schools and private schools in lower primary, be very careful when you take them to public schools. The living conditions of kids in a public school is different from the living conditions of private schools. You take your kids to private schools where they are given all facilities, taken care of. They don't wash their clothes. They don't clean their dormitories. They don't slash the compound. There is no manual duties. The foods they eat are like a 4-5-star hotel. When they go to the public schools, they eat githeri. They eat ugali. They eat mboga. They eat such types of food. They clean. Some schools, there is no piped water. They go to collect water from the river. This one. Some schools, in primary school, the girls have made their hair nice. They are groomed. They are fingernails. Go to the public schools are run like a military school. Utumishi Academy is a school within the police lines. 80% of the kids in those schools belong to the officers, police officers. These were schools. There's Utumishi for boys and Utumishi for girls to take care of the kids of the officers who serve this country. Was the law followed? The DCI has found out that there was negligence and there was arson. So the question before court helicopter is simple. For parents, if your kids tell you, I don't want this school, stop forcing that child to go to that school. Many kids will commit suicide. If they can't commit suicide, like this kid we have dealt here of a school in Nairobi, tried to get friends to suffocate her. It failed. She tried to take sanitizers. That was COVID. She never died. She decided to burn the school. From court helicopter, our condolences to the families. But our advice is that ensure when your child does not want a particular school, don't force that child to go to that school. When a child has told you, transfer me from this school, stop being like this parent. The parents were not caring. Wakili Danstan Omari, it's a pleasure having you on Court Helicopter.